It's just a friend from an employer.
But it says she's pregnant. No, in the stipulated evidence, it says this new girl shows up, tells the mother of your children that she's pregnant with your child.
Mhm.
And according to the stipulations, the mother of your children said it was a good conversation. Everything was fine. She leaves, and then you show up at her home on Tuesday. What you say is to take the children to school. So where is that person?
I don't know. She just calls me every once in a while, but she's not pregnant.
2673 and 2025 CR 015638, State versus Charlie Marquez. Can I have parties announced?
Ready, State.
Warren Wolf for Mr. Marquez.
And are you Mr. Marquez? You entered into a plea in each of these cases. You entered a plea of no contest. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 8 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State is opposed to your applications. They are running this concurrent with each case with a county court cause number 2024 CC 737959 and 2025 PF 09446. And taken in consideration will be 2025 CR 011814, 2025 CC 004665, and 2025 CR 011499. And in one of the cases, there's an affirmative finding of family violence. There was a TAP evaluation and a PSI report that was completed. Have all parties had a chance to review the PSI report and TAP evaluation?
We have, Judge.
Yes.
Any objections to those documents, state or defense?
Not for the state, Judge.
No objection, but there is a correction about Mr. Marquez's recognition of his issues with alcohol. And he is willing to take treatment. In fact, he is we'll explain that later. He's with the CPS program now, and there is alcohol treatment being provided for him, and he's participating there.
All right. State, you're opposed. Do you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Judge. Just argument.
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Mr. Marquez, bless you. And in addition to the documents that you have, and I've tended these to opposing counsel, certificates of his participation in the Supporting Dads program, his taking drug tests that are negative, and his participation in the Family Violence Prevention Services, where he's been attending.
All right. Any objections to the court reviewing those documents? All right. It's not listed here, but when did he start the violence prevention program?
2 months already.
Okay. And I just asked because I saw where he was on the 7th class. All right. And you want to call your client?
Yes.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Charlie Marquez.
All right, Mr. Marquez, I want you to know that you may see me reading documents. It's documents that are related to your case. It's the PSI TAP evaluation, but I'm still listening to you and I'm able to internalize everything that you're saying, okay? All right, defense, you may proceed.
Mr. Marquez, I know there's a lot of issues that you've had in the past, but that is not who you are today. Is that correct?
Oh, and I'm so sorry. Could you all speak up a little bit so I can hear?
Where are you currently working?
Work at a restaurant called Twin Peaks full time.
And what do you do there?
I'm a head cook.
And how long have you been working there?
Over 9 years.
And you are currently living with another lady, not the lady that was involved in the case that's before the court, correct?
Yes.
And the name of the person that you're with now?
No.
Well, you're not under this, but you're working through that through CPS.
Yes, correct.
How long have you been going to CPS classes?
CPS, I've been going to CPS for over a year, CPS classes for almost a whole year as well.
And what sort of things are they talking to you about there?
Counseling classes, substance abuse, drinking, violence, bid, re-entry program.
What is the goal of those classes regarding you and your children
To reunite the family.
and your daughter, right?
Yes,
Where is she currently staying?
they're staying with my mom.
With your mom, not
Yes,
their mother's
Yes.
mom, correct? There was an issue with her. What was her name?
Crystal.
Crystal. That she had some drug issues, correct?
Correct.
So CPS thought it wiser that the children not be with either you or her, right?
Yes,
And they're with your mother. Do you get to see the children?
yes, every week.
Is it supervised?
It's supervised 2 hours with my mom.
And has there been any issues in that regard?
No,
I know you said that you've been taking some substance abuse classes with CPS. I noticed also, we showed the judge some documents that you've been tested. Have there been any positive tests since you've been going through these programs?
I think over a year or so. Last year, maybe it's just one, and that was it.
And since then,
Oh,
you've been sober.
yes,
And that is where you know you need to be.
yes,
You know that is a major issue with your situation. All these cases that are before the court, whether they're being taken into consideration or the ones that the judge has to rule on and make a decision what happens to you going forward, alcohol is a major issue that you need to confront. You understand that,
correct.
and you are doing that,
Yes,
and you're doing that successfully, correct?
yes,
I showed you some of the programs that the court could place you under that have been indicated by probation. Are you willing to abide by any of the conditions that the judge may impose on you in order to keep you in the community and towards reuniting with your family and helping to provide for their financial support role?
yes.
Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to tell the judge?
Just I have a problem with alcohol.
Questions, Judge?
Yes.
Can I call you, Mr. Marquez? Can I call you Charles?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. All right, Charlie. Well, first thing, let's just be honest right now, because honesty is the best policy. If you're dishonest, we're gonna snip out right here, so just be upfront with my questions. All right, let's talk about Crystal. How long were you in a relationship with her?
We've been married over 14 years.
Okay. Are you living with her right now?
Right now, she's currently employed and out of the house. But with
But you're not under the same roof.
Yeah.
Just listen to his
All right,
question.
yes.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you, did you ever contact her?
we have we have to be in contact only for the visit for the kids.
For the kids? Okay. How many kids do y'all have together?
We have two.
Two?
Yes.
Okay. Boy, girl?
You got two boys.
Okay. How old are they?
One just turned 13, the other one is 10.
That's gonna be a ripe age for two boys, man, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you, so when you're communicating with her, did you ever tell her about not talking to the DA's office?
I went to the evaluation last week and I told her she was supposed to call I forgot his name, Doug, to about a statement.
Okay, and
about probation.
is that the have you ever heard of something called an affidavit of non-prosecution?
No.
Okay. All right, let's talk about, because we got a few cases, one of which is involving Crystal. So let's talk about the first one. Did you get deferred adjudication for an assault family violence?
For the first case, yes.
Okay, was that with Crystal?
Yes, correct.
Okay. What about the second case, ma'am?
It's also with her.
Okay. Let's talk about, so I was reading the PSI, you were saying in there that you had no alcohol problem, right?
Yeah, because yes, right.
Okay, but you also said that your alcohol use has increased over time?
After my brother passed away, it's been a year this coming week that he's been passed.
Have you tried to stop using alcohol?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been successful?
Somewhat, but I do notice that I do have a problem.
Okay. What do you mean by somewhat? Did you go for a little bit and then fall away?
Yeah, because like I said, it's been just a year now for the past. It's been hard on our family.
Okay, I get it. Was your alcohol use a factor in that evading with the vehicle that you got back in July 26th, 24?
No.
Were you intoxicated that night?
I made it home, got out, and they was it blood tested me when I got into the Fair County,
Okay.
and I had alcohol in my system.
Did you stop for the police?
I had stopped the light. He pulled over next to me, but he never turned on the light. I was waiting at the light. Turned green. I turned, but he never pursued.
Okay, so why is there an evading with the vehicle then?
They caught me in my apartment.
So you drove, so the couple up next to you and then you drove home?
I turned up the light whenever the light turned green.
Okay, Matt. Let's talk about March and April of last year. How many cases did you pick up during that month?
I think it's 2.
So let me walk you through it. So on March 12th, 2025, you got a case for possession of controlled substance, PG1, 4,200 grams. A week later, you got your second assault family violence with Crystal. And then on April 2nd, you got a PG1 less than a gram. So within a month, you picked up 3 felony cases, one of which was violent. What was going on?
I was trying to go take our kids to school for the family, the violence, and I called the police, and I ended up getting a warrant for my arrest, and I turned myself in.
Okay. You have a problem with substances?
Not no more.
Sure. What was going on? What kind of substance did you have that month in March and April?
It was cocaine.
Okay.
Yes.
I think on your PSI you said you used cocaine when you were 18, but you didn't bring up that you were using cocaine last year. Why was that?
I just said I didn't. So I had told them on the possession that somebody was in my car and they left their bag in my car.
You think when you're talking to the interviewer, it's important to be upfront with them?
Yes, I did state that somebody left bags in my car.
But now you're telling them that you haven't used cocaine since you were 18, but you just admitted that you had it on you last year.
I wasn't doing it.
What were you doing with it then?
I was in my friends, and it was in my car.
So it wasn't your coke, it was somebody else's?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. That's what's good.
You've been tested for us at Center for with CPS. Is that right?
Yes.
And have they tested you for drugs and alcohol there?
Yes, correct.
And they've all been negative. You have not used cocaine or any of that while you've been seen by CPS, correct?
Correct.
And if they tested you today, you would be negative, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Just had a drug test last Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. Friday.
Okay. Do you think you could be successful if the judge put you under supervision of her probation officers, putting you through additional programs like you're doing now with CPS? Do you think you can? Are you willing to do that? Can you do it?
Yes.
Why do you say that?
I'm the main supporter for my family, and there's no income coming in for either the kids or my wife.
What do those children mean to you?
They mean everything. There's only 2 kids that I got.
You realize if the judge does put you under court supervision, any violation, if you would come back in front of her, I guarantee you it would not be good. You understand that?
Yes.
do you still want the judge to grant your application for community supervision?
Yes.
Questions?
All right, this is what I want to know. And if anyone wants to answer the question, great. If no one wants to answer the question, that's great as well. I am trying to understand. One, he stated to me that for the CPS case, the children have not been placed with the mother who's listed as the complainant in this case. Children are placed with his mother. And that usually suggests to the court that there's some issue. Now, I know sometimes people will stand before me and say, oh, I lost my children because my partner was abusive or something like that. And usually that doesn't happen. So I'm trying to decipher and read between the lines what's going on here, because the state's stipulated evidence that everybody agreed to, we have some incident that occurred after his workplace. So I'm trying to figure out, how do we get from she goes to see you where you work, and I'm assuming, I don't know if the children arrive with her or not. Everything is fine. Your new girlfriend or wife or whoever she is shows up, informs her that she's expecting. According to the stipulation, she said it was a great conversation. And then we have you going to the mother of your children's apartment, and confusion results. And I'm just saying confusion instead of saying everything, but I reread the steps. And they're saying this happened at 7:50 on March 18th. What day of the week was that?
Which year, Judge?
2025.
What they do?
March 18th, 2025.
That'd be a Tuesday.
All right. So his testimony was that he was going over there to take the children to school. Was his testimony? I think that's what he said.
So
All right. So I'm just trying to figure out credibility here. So being at that apartment at 7:50 on March 18th, maybe he was there to take the children to school. I don't understand how we get from you're there to take the children to school to this incident happening, and then you're leaving the location. Were the children taken to school, or did you leave the location without taking the children to school?
I left the location without taking children to school.
All right. And so there is a lot that's missing from the stipulation that I would like answers to, but it was still sufficient enough to find you guilty of the offense. So how long have you been involved with Child Protective Services?
For a year already.
All right, over a year. So your rights have not been terminated? Did they give you an extension?
I got a court date in April, and the deadline is for May. Around May.
All right. And so the mother of the children, do you know whether or not, because I know y'all will probably go to court together, do you know if she's completing her service plan?
Yes, she's doing her services as well.
Okay. And outside of court, have you had any, and when I say outside of court, outside of the CPS court hearings, have you had any contact with her?
Just to pay bills, basically. But she's not employed.
Okay. And when you say the pay bills, what bills do you mean?
Cell phone, groceries, food, whatever. She has basically homeless without me. So she has no source of income.
All right. And what does your new wife or girlfriend say about that?
I don't no longer talk to her anymore.
No longer talk to who?
The friend.
Her name?
Oh,
No, I mean the new woman that was in your life that's in the stipulations?
Yes, it was just a friend from employer.
But it says she's pregnant. No, in the stipulated evidence, it says this new girl shows up, tells the mother of your children that she's pregnant with your child.
Mhm.
And according to the stipulations, the mother of your children said it was a good conversation. Everything was fine. She leaves and then you show up at her home on Tuesday. What you say is to take the children to school. So where is that person?
I don't know. She just calls me every once in a while, but she's not pregnant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Judge,
Yes.
let me ask a few more follow-up questions of Mr. Marquez.
Yes.
All right, so, Mr. Marquez, so this new assault family second charge is against Crystal, right?
Correct.
And you said you're not living with her?
Right now she's living at my apartment.
I'm sorry, what, living where?
She's living in my apartment where I'm paying.
Okay, she's living at your apartment.
So you are in contact with her?
Like I said, I have to. Yes, I have to because I have to pay the bills.
Okay. Wow. This week. Judge, we'd like to show you the conditions of bond and the assault family second that we're talking about with Miss Crystal Vasquez. And on there, it explicitly says that there is a no contact order in place between Charles and the person named here. So he's just admitted on the record to you to violating his conditions of bond.
All right.
I do have another lawyer for CPS case. He supposedly picked up the violation for the no contact order.
All right. So who's that attorney?
I gotta look up my phone. So we do have to meet.
Dale Hill.
All right. So we're going to take a short recess, and this is what I want attorneys to find out. It should be easy to find out. If somebody can call Dale Hill, or somebody can have a CPS caseworker Zoom in here, because I want to see if what he's telling me is the truth regarding where he is in the CPS case. Because I would regret to leave children unsupervised, or they're going to be in foster care or something of that nature would happen if people have changed. So if somebody can get in touch with Dale Hill, get in touch with the CPS worker, and if there's no objection to them zooming in.
I'll just get the Zoom number. from
All
the
right,
clerk,
thank
and I'll
you.
get,
And then I'll take this matter
have
up.
a seat. Oh, yeah.
The TAP evaluation was completed. However, PSI was waived. According to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 2 years. There's $1,000 fine in the state as opposed to your application. Have both parties had a chance to review the TAP evaluation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection to the TAP evaluation?
On page 1, it suggests that he used marijuana and methamphetamine. What he tried to say to her was he tried it, not used it. That's all, Your Honor.
All right. Any witnesses state? Defense, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, allocution.
All right. The court will hear you state. You may proceed.
We have to deny application for Mr. Torres. Mr. Torres seems to be minimizing his involvement in how the alleged substance that it was tested positive for methamphetamine ended up in the pocket of his pants, and that he gave the TAP evaluator a different story than what was in the stipulations and what he told officers. Further, Mr. Torres has pled guilty to, or not guilty, he has been convicted on the attached VPO that arises out of the same incident, and has also done a prior trip to BBC in 2005. On that case for the bird cap, he was placed on probation. It was ultimately revoked. So because of his unsuccessful probation in the past, I would urge the court to deny his application and sentence of 2 years.
All right.
Your Honor, I suggest to the court that his problem is drug usage, which you can handle and fix with supervision on deferred adjudication. I believe he wants to address the court, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I haven't been in trouble in over 20 years. I did go back. She called me to go help her clean her house, and there was.
Oh, I'm sorry, could you, just one. All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Luca Torres.
All right, you may proceed.
May he allocute and give.
Yes. Yes, he may.
Okay, so I haven't been in trouble in over 20 years. Stay out of the way and everybody's way. With the work. 3 years ago, I was in a car accident. My wife left me, and there was a downfall from there. Met this girl, and everything happened. And I had that lady interview me, and she was kind of in a hurry, asking me, give me dates. And I don't remember these dates. I tried to estimate the time frame. I said about 2005, and she was getting upset. But anyways,
When you're talking about the lady, you're talking about the lady who did the TAP evaluation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
So she was kind of hurrying me up, and I tried to give her the best time, but best estimated time. I said, but
All
I
right,
got
here's my question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
TAP evaluation says you need inpatient treatment. What are your thoughts?
I say treatment is good. The services you provide, I can use. I'm not denying it, because temptation's out there, and
I know they're saying you need inpatient treatment. So even if I were to consider your, well, I am considering your application, but for me to even grant your application, you would still be in custody because you would be going into an inpatient treatment facility.
I really don't like it. I just do outpatient because I'm missing my family, and like I said, 3 years of being alone. My daughter came this year to come be with me, pick me up and take me to California, and this happened. She's the one that's my backbone and keeps me straight. I can do outpatient out there. And
Now, I want you to hear me and internalize what I'm saying. I am not, if I grant your application, you're not getting outpatient treatment. It's obvious to the court that if I were to grant your application, you need inpatient treatment. And what I can tell you, the inpatient treatment you need is 9 months. And you would have to wait in custody to be transferred to the inpatient treatment facility. Or, the state has made an offer of 2 years, and 2 years is the minimum. And you'll receive credit for any time that you've been in custody.
and I would have to go do the 9 months and then get out on probation.
Yes, you'd have to do 9 months at the treatment facility because that's the length of time for it. And then after the 9 months, then there's 6 months of aftercare. And usually that takes place in a halfway house.
I would rather go do the time.
Okay. All right, then this is what the court will do.
It's fine.
No, don't apologize. Here's the thing. You know yourself better than I do, better than your attorney does, and better than the state does. And sometimes it's hard to recognize because we're trying to, how do I put this? We're trying to say things that we think other people want to hear. And I understand, and there's no need to apologize.
I just want to go with my daughter and show.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, once I sentence you, you'll get credit for any time that you've been in custody. And then once you're released from prison, who knows, they may parole you from the jail. Your attorney can speak to you about that. But once you're done, you're done. All right, the court is going to find you guilty, sentence you to 2 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. There's $1,000 fine, time and money will run concurrently. I'll request the therapeutic community. The therapeutic community doesn't increase the time that you're in custody. It's just a program that is designed to help you maintain your sobriety. I do not have jurisdiction to force them to place you in the program, but they'll see in the judgment that I'm requesting it for you and you will have to request it as well. So for example, your sentence is 2 years. If you're in that program and you don't complete it, they're not going to say, we're not releasing him because he hasn't completed the program. You understand? All right, counsel, I don't have the trial court certification. If you could do one for me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, State.
I'm sorry about everything.
No. Let me just tell you, there's no need to apologize to me. I understand. There are decisions that you make.
I was hoping to do a year and then go to California without paperwork or just to give it to my daughter.
Well, I can tell you in felony court, if it's a felony probation, you're not allowed to only do a year. Sometimes on probation, it can be transferred to another state, another county, but that's only after inpatient treatment is completed. And then with that transfer, what ends up happening, you're not allowed to go to the other place or transfer physically to that place until they accept your probation. So sometimes they'll say, we're not going to accept this person. And so you have to stay where you are.
So is this paperwork done? Is it?
Yes, once we do this, you will be done. You'll get whatever credit you've been in custody. You'll get that credit subtracted from the 2-year sentence. And maybe they'll parole you from the Bexar County Jail, maybe not. Your attorney can speak to you about that.
Can I stop this now and maybe accept
Oh, I've already entered my sentence. And once I give a sentence and it's a legal sentence, there's nothing else for me to do, right? I know sometimes attorneys will do motions to reconsider, but those are not necessarily legal motions in the sense that I have a right to grant it.
kind of weigh it out and services y'all do provide out here,
Mhm.
I can use.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review it with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you,
You're
Judge.
welcome. All right, anyone else ready?
We have DeAndre Shepherd with Sean.
All right, DeAndre Shepherd.
She sent it from the last to the docket.
All right, thank you.
Second to last page, I apologize.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I forgot the last page was trial.
There are rules in place. You say absolutely, but you would not be here if you were not doing that. They want to know where you're living.
I live with my grandpa.
No, you do not. According to this, they talked to you and asked you where you resided, and then you told them you live there, but then you changed it and said you live with various girls and you didn't want to provide an address. So this is what I'm going to tell you, and I want you to understand me clearly. I want you to hear what I'm saying, and I want you to internalize what I'm saying. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
You're looking at potentially 5 years in the prison if a motion to revoke is filed against you. Do you understand? When you are on probation, people say you're on paper. It's a contract. And it's a contract that you follow the rules that have been set for you to follow. You understand? Your life is not your own. When the probation officer is asking where you're residing, you don't get to tell them, I'm not giving you the address. Do you understand? And all this nonsense about I'm living with various girls, you should be working this plan so you can complete probation. Do you understand? Now, if you would like a motion to revoke to be filed and we just be done with this and you go to prison, you let me know, we'll accommodate you. Then you need to start behaving as though you don't want that to happen. How old are you? All right, so you've passed your teenage years by a long shot. You understand? So if you want to go to prison, and I've told people this before, there is always accommodation at the prison. I don't care if the prison is designed to only hold 1,000 people or 1,000 inmates. And if they hold more than 1,000, it's a violation of civil rights and whatever. Guess what? They still gonna find a place for you at the prison. And they'll just have 1,001 people at the prison. So you had better start acting as though you do not want to have a motion to revoke be filed or go to prison, because that's a potential consequence for for your actions. And they're going to come out and visit you at your grandfather's house, and you had better be staying there. And this whole nonsense about I'm living with various girls, that's just a bunch of nonsense. You understand?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that needs to be addressed?
No, Judge.
All right, so this is the last compliance hearing we're having about you not providing an address to them. You better provide it, and that better be done today. Anything else you need? All right, thank you. All right, anyone else?
Ma'am, I have stop on page 6, 5 down.
3374 State versus Adalia Sabs. Can I have parties announce?
Think I like the state.
David Rodriguez for the defendant.
And are you Ms. Sabs?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered into a plea bargain agreement of no contest. Was your plea on December 18th? Court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court found you guilty. And a PSI and TAP evaluation was ordered. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 12 months in the state jail facility, and there's a $1,500 fine. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI and TAP evaluation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Any objections to the PSI or TAP evaluation, state?
Objection.
No objection.
Defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, state, you are opposed to the application. Any witnesses?
No witnesses, Judge.
Any witnesses?
Just my client.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you'll lower your hand and state your name for the record.
Adalia Sabs.
All right, you may proceed, defense.
Ms. Hobbs, can you just tell the judge why we're applying for probation today?
I realized I made some bad choices and stuff like that. Because my last son is graduating this year and he's going to the Marines.
I'm sorry, it's
He's
going
going to
through
the Marines.
Okay,
And I haven't been there for my kids, but I was there, recently, lately and stuff. And I've been working very hard. I don't do drugs anymore. I don't do none of that stuff. I just have a little bit of alcohol problem, and that's it. But other than that, I really want to see my son leave.
And Ms. Hobbs, do you understand that you have an issue with alcohol?
Yes, I do.
And do you also have some mental health issues? Is that correct?
Yes, I do. I'm bipolar and PTSD.
And are you asking the judge to give you some help today to get some treatment for the alcohol issues and your mental health issues?
Yes, I do. Yes, I will. Yes, I am.
And if the judge grants you this probation or deferred adjudication, are you going to be able to successfully complete that probation?
100%. My babies, yes, 100%.
Ms. Hobbs, tell me a little bit about your living situation. Where are you living right now?
I live with my mother-in-law's house, and she left it to my sister-in-law now. They've been there for over 50 years. I lived right with my husband before he passed away 7 years ago, right behind the street next to, behind K Street and stuff, where my mother-in-law lives for 15 years. And then after he passed away, I went to my mother-in-law's.
And so how long have you been living in that house?
I lived there for at least 8 years now since my husband passed.
And who else is in the house with you?
My sister-in-law, my 3 boys.
And how old are your boys?
My boys, my oldest one is 20, And my second to the oldest one is 18 and this one is 17. My youngest is 17.
And before you were arrested for this offense, had you been working?
Yes, down the street where it is all older people and stuff, and I clean their houses for them and stuff like that. I've been there for 5 years, cleaning the same houses. Up and down the street, I got 6 on my street, and on the street after that, I have 2 more houses over there.
And Ms. Hobbs, is that the kind of job that you would be able to pick back up when you're released?
Yes, ma'am. I know a lot of people for forever. Yes, sir.
Judge, I think that's all I've got for right now.
All right. Any questions?
Ms. Sabs, so you would agree with me that you have a criminal record that dates back to the year 1997, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've been placed on probation multiple times in misdemeanor and felony cases, is that correct?
3 times, and then there's supposedly 3 times. I passed 1.
Okay. Well, okay, let's talk about that a little. So in 1997, you were placed on misdemeanor probation for theft. And originally you were given 1 year deferred adjudication. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay. And so then on that one, you had multiple motions to find you guilty, and then you were found guilty, and then a motion to revoke your probation and send you to the Bexar County Jail was filed. Do you recall that?
And we call it that, you know, it's been so long. I'm 50 years old now, so
I understand. And so then on that probation, you ultimately got sentenced to 6 months Bexar County Jail. Does that sound about right?
okay.
Okay. And then again in 2008, you are placed on deferred adjudication, and multiple motions to revoke are filed, and then ultimately you're sentenced to 11 months in Bexar County Jail. Does that sound about right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then in 2015, you were placed on felony probation, and then had about 3 motions to revoke your probation, and then ultimately sentenced to 9 months in the state jail. Does that sound about right?
Okay.
And then as recently as 2023, you were found guilty of the felony offense and theft of property of sentenced to 6 months in the state jail. Does that sound about right? Okay. And so what is different now than all the other times that you were on probation and unable to successfully?
Back then, you know, I was running wild and stuff like that. I grew up a lot. I'm 50 years old, you know. My kids, now that they're older and stuff, you know, I see a lot that I've done that I haven't done with them, you know, that they're grown up already, and I regret a lot of things I've done. But, you know, I was taking me a lot of things that away from me and stuff, and I just, like I said, my son is finna go to the Marines, and I'm so proud of him. I just want to be there.
And I understand
this.
And so I know you've acknowledged that you have an issue with alcohol, but when the top evaluator asked you if you had any issues with any like drugs or illegal substances, you said no, right?
No, I told her I had weed. I had some weed, you know.
Okay, so that's kind of what I'm
medicating.
So that's what I want to talk to you about, because you told her that you have an issue with marijuana, but on the date that you were arrested, you were in possession.
I told her I was self-medicating with my weed.
Okay.
Yes, I was.
Okay. So I guess you're telling the court that at this time you have an issue with marijuana and alcohol.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Thank you. No further questions.
All right. Of course, I'm never aware of anyone's criminal history at the time I take a plea. I become aware of it after the plea. Based upon what I'm seeing in her criminal history, it's a lot of thefts. It's a lot of other cases. And there are some drug issues. And it seems that that's the cause of the cases that she was placed on probation for and that were revoked. So there are other things that are going on. So, does anyone think it's appropriate to do a referral to Esperanza Court.
I have a question.
All right, so if you all will just have a seat, any objections to me emailing the judge who is over Esperanza Court to see how long it would take to do an evaluation?
Not at all.
All right, and if you want to talk to your client about the Esperanza Court, you're looking at an 18 months program. And what I can tell you, if I grant your application and you're with Esperanza Court will make the decision over whether or not you should be in inpatient treatment or outpatient treatment. It's an intensive program. All of the specialty courts are intensive programs, and they are able to supervise you at a higher level than I can on this caseload. All right.
Yes,
I believe Meredith Chacon is a part of Esperanza Court, so you may want to call her as well. And I think also, I know for sure Meredith Chacon. I can't think of the other attorneys who are a part of that. So you may want to call her and see if she can come over, because she'll be able to look at it and tell us if she has a good chance of being accepted or not.
Do you know which court the Esperanza Court's out of?
It is Judge Catherine Torrestal. Is that the 144th? 175th. So if you'll go to the 175th, and maybe they'll be able to do that quickly, and we can touch 5th.
Okay.
So that your attorney will have more time to speak with you and review things with you.
Okay.
And if he wants you to be brought back earlier, he'll let us know and we'll put you on the docket earlier, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Where do I go?
So
Oh,
let's see, that's where you were at.
You want to decide something on?
Judge, whenever you're ready.
Did you have a question?
It's in regards to the next one, that's all.
Yes.
Mr. Villapando, we have an agreement and it involves taking some action in County Court 13.
All right,
And
what
then-
page is he on?
Villapando.
All right, so what are you saying on this?
So the offer is to go resolve the matter in county court, and then we may get we will get a dismissal up here, so we could.
All right, do you have a date for the 13th?
County Court 13 is not open today for business, so I'm trying to get on their calendar next week. So if we could reset this for 2 weeks or so, I think.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Mr. Robert Villapando, we're going to recall your case in 2 weeks. And my understanding, that will resolve this case. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 2-week reset.
18th would be better.
Oh, no, let's just,
We're gonna get it.
we'll just put it on the 19th, and then if things are done, they'll let me know.
Great.
No,
Perfect. Perfect.
All right, thank you. Okay. Who's here on Gabriel Pazana?
We're present and we have a plea.
All right, if you'll come down, what page is he on? Thank you. And is there an application?
No, there is not, Judge.
All right, probation, there's no application. Court is calling 2025 CR 013303, State versus Gabriel Pazana. Can I have parties announced?
Brandon Breda for the state.
Roger Pettis, for Mr. Pizana.
And are you Mr. Pazana?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Pazana, Mr. Pazana, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Judge.
Mr. Pazana, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
You're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, less than 1 gram. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Pazana, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and re-entry. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 13 months in the state jail facility. There's a $2,000 fine, no applications. The state will take in consideration 2025 PF 42866. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it
Yes, ma'am.
and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
State any evidence?
Judge, we have to stay to number one and all of its attachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
State you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. Court will review the same. Court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
He recognizes the error and he's looking forward to getting this resolved as soon as possible.
All right, court will sentence you to 13 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine, time and money to run concurrent. The court will request the therapeutic community. It doesn't increase the time that you're in custody, but it could help you with any sobriety issues you may have. Court will take in consideration 2025 PF 42866. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
He'll get the credit for time, sir.
Yes. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what that is, you need to speak to an attorney.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, we can go off the record. Please change your life, because otherwise you're going to end up in prison, right?
I mean, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Well, I mean, how old are you?
40, 40 on.
All right, so you got to get there quickly, because otherwise you're going to end up in prison or end up in somebody's jail, or last time you used drugs may be the last time you use. And if you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for somebody you say you
I
love.
mean, no, I mean, yeah, I'm getting there. I take full accountability. That's why I play guilty. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. You know, I've been messing up for a long time. And I'm getting there. I was hard-headed for a long time. I had a lot of hate. Like for the neighborhood, I come from the lean courts. You know, neighborhood I grew up in, it was a hard to shape. I've had my own business before. You know, and I know how to do right.
All right, so you're going to have to do that, right? Because otherwise, when you're released, if you can't find a place that can help you maintain your sobriety, if I'm still here, come back here. I'll pick up the phone, call somebody to help you out. Okay?
All right, thank you, man. Man,
Yes.
can I have a chocolate?
A chocolate.
Like that?
Oh, there's chocolate up here?
I think.
On the side.
That's
Dollar Tree.
No, those are dog treats.
All right.
And you know what? I'm not allowed to give inmates anything. When an inmate wants something, they need to ask the deputy.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, corrections or,
Objections?
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Page 6, Judge,
Mhm.
there's a clear and obvious mistake with respect. At the top of page 6, it says, how many shots of beers do you have in one setting? It says 18 beers.
Mhm.
That's a mistake. I mean, Mr. Snarrows, has informed me she hasn't, had a drink in 15 years.
Okay.
So that's a clear and obvious mistake. And then there was another mistake, and it's almost immediately contradictory almost, but on page 5, Mr. Snarrows has a high school diploma and she has some college, but if you drop a line below there, it says San Diego Quick Reading Assessment, results 11th grade. Mr. Snarrows informs me that she's never taken that assessment. Okay, so I don't know, with respect to that, where that came from. So
Okay.
those are two things we noticed in the PSI. And when the court gives us the opportunity, I'd like to speak on her behalf.
Okay. All right, Ms. Cisneros. Why do you think you'll be successful on probation?
Because I'm going to be focused on taking care of my mom
Mhm.
and my brother and my grandkids.
Mhm.
Mainly my mom is the one that needs help right now because she's 91 and she has Alzheimer's.
Mhm.
And I have brothers. I have 4 brothers and a sister, and my brothers are all working. My sister's in hospice.
So let me ask you this. What changes have you made in your life since 2024 when this case?
I have since moved. I moved to my mom's house and I'm helping her.
You're not receiving any type of payment for helping me,
No,
are you?
no,
All right,
not
because,
my mom.
all right, because I will tell you in this court, I don't allow people who are on probation here to be home health care providers or to work in fields involving children. And I just do that to make sure that community is protected.
Yes, no, ma'am.
There are some exceptions to that rule, but
No,
okay.
that would be wrong.
Yeah.
To me, that would be wrong.
So are you employed?
Oh, yes, I do.
What do you do?
I work for Excellence Painting and I'm an office manager.
Okay,
I worked 20 hours a week,
okay.
so I could have enough time to tend to my mom.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's $1,000 fine that will be probated. There should be proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And if you're drug tested today, what will the results be?
It would be negative.
All right. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. There's to be a $200, 200 community service restitution hours. Since you're involved with your grandchildren, I'm going to order parenting classes. Once the parenting classes are completed, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. Just one moment. Probation. Do you still want to do supportive outpatient treatment, or would you prefer sober support meetings 1 time per week? All right, so that's AANA meetings. You're to do those 1 time per week. And they're located all over the city. All right, so there's to be sober support meetings 1 time per week until further notice. And there is restitution. To the Texas Department of Public Safety. And that's for testing. And that is in the amount of $180.
Do I pay it today?
Probation will let you know when that needs to be paid.
Okay.
Probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need in order to be successful?
No, I just need to make sure.
Oh, probation is going to go over conditions with
Okay.
you. Yes.
Judge, real quickly, but you mooted the need for me to speak on her behalf for the most part.
Mhm.
But I just spoke with Ms. Galloway and she's not opposed. I am court appointed in this particular case
Mhm.
to help alleviate some of the financial burden Ms. Cisneros is going to have while she's on probation. If the court could consider probating some or all of the fine, $1,000 fine.
Oh, I'm probating the $1,000 fine.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, maybe I missed you saying.
No, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, in this court, yes?
I did not hear in the beginning whether or not you said count 1 and count 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. She pled to count 3.
Sorry, it's count
2?
Count 2, Judge.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's count 2. Can you give me that cause number again?
Yes, Judge. Oh my gosh, I thought it was on the plea bargain page. It's not. I'm sorry. There you go. She got it.
All right. And I'll just make sure it's in Odyssey, but it's for the record, it's for count 2.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. In this court, make sure you stay in touch with probation. If there's an issue, let them know about it. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. But whatever you do, do not disappear on them, okay?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. You
Appreciate
too.
it. All right. Mrs. Snell, you're gonna sit right over there in front row. Probation. Okay? All right.
All right, let me do this plea, then I'll do Pomeranz. Court is calling 2024 CR 012899 State versus Constance Seawwell. Could I have parties announced for the record?
Yes, for the state.
Right?
I believe it's 889.
Oh, okay, let me see. See, my glasses are for distance. So it's 2024 CR 012889. Oh, no, that's what it is. I probably said it incorrectly. Could parties re-announce for the record?
Yes. Yes.
Eric Baker for the defendant, Judge.
And are you Ms. Seawwell?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Seawwell, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are not going to proceed on paragraph A, the paragraph E is count 2.
No, thanks.
So I'm sorry, because you're waiving count 1, paragraph B?
Yes, Your Honor. Proceeding on paragraph A.
Okay. And you're waiving count 2?
Yes.
And you said there are no objections?
Correct, Judge.
All right. Ms. Seawwell, did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it, sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. In count 1, paragraph A, you're charged with murder. That's a first-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Judge, yes.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Seawwell, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and reentry. Did you understand?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 1, paragraph A. Punishment is to be assessed at 30 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine, affirmative finding of deadly weapon, no applications, you're not eligible. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. With an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition, and you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent. Did you understand that to be your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to count 1, paragraph A, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. State proper states exhibit 1.
No
Yeah.
objection. Oh,
Okay, well, this is exhibit 81 as well.
no
Any
objection.
objections?
No, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witness statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and considered stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
This courtroom moment proves that sometimes the hardest decisions aren't made by the judge, they're made by the defendant. A man stood in court facing serious consequences, but instead of arguing, he admitted the truth. He had a problem with alcohol. The judge didn't ignore it. She broke it down clearly. If he wanted another chance, it wouldn't be easy. It meant months of inpatient treatment, strict supervision, and complete control over his life. This wasn't freedom. This was discipline. But then came the turning point. Instead of taking that chance, he made a choice that shocked the room. He chose jail. 2 years in prison instead of going through treatment. And even when the judge explained everything again, gave him time to think, and made sure he understood the consequences, he didn't change his mind. Because sometimes facing your problems is harder than facing punishment. And that's what makes this moment powerful. Not anger, not shouting, but a real-life decision that could change everything. So here's the real question. When someone is given a chance to fix their life, but chooses jail instead, is that giving up or just choosing the easier path? Like and subscribe for more real courtroom moments.